Pronouns out, boys and girls. So this morning you were asked to fill in a questionnaire all about the results that you showed me yesterday from your fantastic sentences and the most important charities for you. And there was lots of different charities that the children decided that they wanted to share. And these charities were put into our questionnaire, especially for our first question. Now, the reason why I'm asking you what your favourite charity is and the one that's the most important to you is that as a class, we need to choose one. And I know that can be a little bit tricky because lots of children have different reasons for why charities are important to them. But as a class, we're going to choose one. And the reason why we're going to choose one is because we are going to try and raise money for this charity. Now, as I was saying before, Captain Tom Moore, during the first lockdown, did an amazing thing of walking around his garden 100 times. Now that can seem pretty easy to you and me, but he's 100 years old, so he wanted to do it for every year of his life. And that's a hard challenge. So we are going to do a challenge all together, and this questionnaire was going to be able to give us the charity we were going to raise money for and how we were going to do it. So let's look at the data that you've shown. So here in our first slide, you can see that our data has been presented in a bar graph. Now we've looked at these in school, so you should be quite good at these ones. And this was for our first question. What charity do you think our class should focus on? Now you had different charities to choose from. So you had the RSPCA, the NSPCC, the NHS, Welsh Air Ambulance, Mind, and Kidney Wales. And these are ones that the children in the class had chosen as their most important charities. And they were some fantastic ones. And the reasons were Bendigedig. Now, you'll see next to our bar graph, there are 4 questions. And question 1 asks, what charity had 2 votes? So you need to have a look at our graph to see which charity had 2 votes. The next question, what charities had no votes? So have a look. There was a couple of charities that didn't get any votes, and that's okay. Maybe children have changed their minds, and you need to write the names of those charities using a comma between them. Remember, a comma looks like this. Number 3, what was the most popular charity? So think, which one had the most votes? And number 4, how many children voted in the questionnaire? So could you work out how many children voted all together? Now let's have a look at our success criteria of how we can be successful on this first page for looking at our first question. So it says, I must answer the questions using the graphs to help me. So that's really important. You need to make sure you use your data rather than plucking answers out of your head. So I should use the data in my answers. So if it's asking you for a number, you need to use that number in your answers. And I could answer in full questions in capital letters with full stops. Now that's a little bit of a challenge, as that can be a little bit tricky and maybe you'll need an adult to help you. But if we look at the first one, I'm going to help you in how you could answer that as a full question. Okay? As a full sentence. So it says, what charity had 2 votes? So I need to look down at my screen and have a look. So using your following my mouse to help you. So I can either look here to see which one had 2, or if I'm going to read my graph, which is really important, I need to look at, first of all, my axes. And this is counting in ones, and that's counting the amount of children that voted. So if I'm looking here, I can go from 0, 1, 2. If I go across, I can see that 2 people voted for this blue bar. Now, if I go back to my key, I can see here that the blue one was for the RSPCA. That was a charity all looking at pets. So when we look across, it had 2. So to answer my question fully, I would say the RSPCA had 2 votes. Full stop. Let's try that again. See if you can do that with me using your punctuation hands. The RSPCA had 2 votes, full stop. Bendigedig. Now use that one to help you with answering the other ones. Remembering that that last one is a little bit of a challenge. Now, I want you to pause this so that you can answer the questions looking at this slide first of all. So you're going to pause it as I pull a funny face. Let's see the funny face that you pause it on. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you pause it? Have you finished it? Da iawn. Awesome. Okay, once you finish that side, we're going to go on to our next slide. That's looking at question number 2. So question number 2 said, we are going to focus on raising money for our chosen charity and make sure we're getting outside, which is so important at the moment. A walk is all that we can go for. So how would you like to measure your efforts? And you had 3 different choices. So you could either vote to complete the daily mile every day of January. So that's to walk a mile, and you can walk, you can run, you could go on your skateboard, you could ride a bike, you could go as a scooter, you could hop, you could skip. It's totally up to you. That colour is in blue. Can you see here? The next one in orange was complete 10,000 steps every day in January, and in green it says to complete 20k over January, and 20k is 20 kilometres. So it's quite a far away. So that could be completed. So we could either measure it in distance, so in a mile, we could measure it in steps, or we can measure it in a different type of unit of measurement in kilometres. So that's looking at distance as well. So this was presented differently and was presented in a bar chart. Not a bar chart, silly me. In a pie chart. I wonder why they call it a pie chart. They call it a pie chart because it looks like a pie. Now this bit here looks like a slice out of our pie. Now, we're going to look at our questions again, and this time you've only got 3. So let's have a read of them. So, which choice had 1 vote? So you need to look at your key to help you for your different colours. You've got your numbers here, and you've also got your pie chart. I wonder if you could solve that by yourself. Then it says which choice had no votes. So out of our pie chart, which colour can't you see? That one wouldn't have any votes. And the last one, which choice had the most votes? Now you need to look at your pie chart. Which colour can you see the most? And that one is going to be the one that we've chosen. Now the reason why we're showing this, boys and girls, is to show you what charity we're going to be raising money for and how we're going to measure it. And these aren't choices that I've made. These are all the choices that you've made as a class. So you should feel super, super excited to raise money for these fantastic causes that your classmates have decided to raise money for. Now, if your charity didn't get chosen, or maybe if you voted for something to measure it in a certain way and it didn't get chosen, please don't be disheartened, because it's wonderful. You've done fantastic work so far. Maybe you'd like to look at looking at that charity on your own, maybe with your family. But we're going to raise money for this charity as a class, okay? It's for our class topic. Now, I need you to pause this screen while I pull another funny face. See what funny face I pull this time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you pause it? Did I look silly? Thought so. Okay, boys and girls, I'm super excited to see your work. You can submit this then with mums and dads taking a picture and sending it up through to me on Class Dojo. I am very, very proud of all your efforts so far. Da iawn. See you tomorrow on our class Zoom. Bye! Hwyl fawr!